Last week, wrapping up National Hurricane Preparedness Week, a time for communities to get prepared ahead of the start of hurricane season. And while it's always important to get your property prepared, it's equally important to prepare your finances as well. Joining us today, CPA Kimberly Washington, KemSense, live in studio to share more financial tips and steps we can all take ahead of hurricane season. Now, Kim, when it comes to insurance, that's one of the big questions. What steps can we take now to prepare for the future?
Right. So the first thing you want to do right now, get in contact with your insurance agent. If you're someone, of course, who owns property, you want to have that discussion right now before it is too late. Some of the questions that you want to ask concern is, number one, is your deductibles. Whether or not it's affordable at this time. You want to get an understanding as it relates to your coverages, whether or not you have coverage as it relates to hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever the case may be. Then you want to determine whether or not you have or need rather special needs insurance. If you have like very unique items such as antiques, maybe firearms, and if you need whether or not you need special coverage. And last but certainly not least, if you are a renter, you definitely want to look into having some insurance too at this time, because in many cases you will not be covered by your landlord.
And Kim, something we don't think about early in the process, what about these important financial documents? What steps should we take at this time?
Right now, start compiling those documents. You want to get an idea as it relates to your insurance policies. Put those things aside, your wills, titles, and deeds. Put everything aside, and you may even want to consider putting it in electronic form. So that way, in case you do evacuate, you have the items, of course, at your fingertips. You also want to create backup of your computer files or whatever the case may be, and especially as it relates to like business files too as well. So keep those things in mind right now and start making the proper steps concerning your documentation.
Documentation, that process, we know in some cases a property owner may need to show proof, provide proof of personal property within a home for any losses. What steps can we also play out here?
Right, so you want to start taking pictures of everything within your home. So go from room to room and start taking those photos right now. Keep in mind, in some cases, insurance companies may ask for this as proof when it relates to filing an insurance claim. You also want to take place when it comes to special items or big ticket items. Keep those receipts, because insurance companies too may want to look at those items as well concerning this.
And lastly, Cam, we know that hurricane season rapidly approaching, just over 3 weeks away, believe it or not. What other tips should we consider at this time?
Think about your evacuation plan. What is going to be some of your steps? You want to start talking to your family right now. Ask some of those questions. Where would our family go in case we need to evacuate? How much will it cost? You also want to determine whether or not you have maybe hotel rewards or travel rewards through maybe a credit card, and start getting a plan where you're able to use that information too. And last but certainly not least, put a savings account aside. It's just saving about $50 a month if you're able. Of course, it could be about $1,200 a year, but start taking some plans right now so that, of course, that you're taken care of in case we do need to evacuate or have a very busy hurricane season.
Hoping for the best this year.
Hoping for the best, yes.
Absolutely. Kimberly Washington, KemSense, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.